Today on Four Verts, we talk about a pair of quarterbacks. One, Deshaun Watson, who I don't have a better word for it, but I think has gotten pretty delusional. And two, what is up with Aaron Rodgers at this point? Is he going to sign with the Steelers? Is he not? Lots to dive into there as well. My name is Harrison Graham. This is Four Verts, where we talk NFL all day, every day. And tomorrow, folks, is my 3-round mock draft. We promised it would be coming. You guys delivered on our mock draft last week, so that will drop tomorrow. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can catch the full 3-round mock. Okay, let's talk a little Deshaun Watson, even though he's completely irrelevant for the most part at this point in time. He posted a video on his Instagram that was pretty clearly in response to what the Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, had to say at the owners' meetings. We'll get to that in a little bit. Of a video of himself rehabbing and himself talking as well, as he appeared to send a message. Quote, "Everyone is doubting me. Everyone don't believe in me. Everyone don't think I can get back to where I was. But I know, and I believe the work that I put in, that I believe in myself. I know I'm going to be way better than before." Well, if we're talking better than what we've seen in Cleveland, I suppose that's possible because he's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, and especially last year, statistically, one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the history of the league. I think there's a lot of delusion here. And look, I'm not a professional athlete. These guys, the self-belief they have, the work they have, I can't enter that headspace with them in their craft. So, of course, he believes in himself, but no one else does. And he is now going to miss most of this upcoming year, it sounds like, if not all of it, because he tore his Achilles a second time. And we'll kind of get to it in a second, but I think there's a better chance he never plays again than he plays at all, much less plays at a good level, because we haven't seen that in quite some time. This was in response to what Jimmy Haslam, the Browns owner, had to say at the owners' meetings. He said, "Look, we took a big swing and a miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't. And we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him, so we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole." Deshaun Watson is still on the team. He is on the roster, and the owner, who later said, "Put it on me, this is on me," in terms of making the decision to trade for him, he is already saying, we're done. This didn't work. He is conceding defeat. The Browns have already moved on. So when you get back to what Watson's saying, everyone's doubting me, no one thinks I can get back to where I was. Well, yeah, no shit, because one of the only teams that was even going to trade for you, they've already moved on. So why would anybody else believe that you could get back to an even serviceable level in the NFL? I mean, the plummet from this guy, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. I really don't. A guy who was viewed his last couple of years in Houston as a fringe top 5 quarterback, ascending as a player. 2020 was his last full season. 2021 didn't play at all because he requested a trade. The sexual assault allegations started flying in. Over the next few years, he faced 24 civil suits. The Texans fleeced the Browns by trading him for a haul. He's only played in 19 total games with Cleveland in 3 years because of suspension and injuries. He tears his Achilles, then tears it again in his early rehab, so he's recovering from that. And then the owner, like we just outlined, already is calling the trade a failure and that it didn't work out and that the franchise is having to dig out of that hole. Deshaun Watson's delusional. I appreciate confidence in life. I do, but he's delusional. Guys, he hasn't played good football in 5 years. 5 years. It's not like, well, he had a bad year and then he missed a season with an injury, so it's been a couple years. It's been half a decade. It's been half a decade, and he's not going to play this year probably. So, and the Browns are already saying, yeah, we missed here. This was an L for us. So they're going to cut him at some point. I would guess after this season, maybe they post-June want him and just space out those cap hits. Who in their right mind, when that does happen, would even sign him to a vet minimum deal? Because even if you were like, well, what's the worst case scenario? He's not that guy anymore, which we kind of already know. But if, well, maybe there's a tiny chance he could get back to being decent. You'd be signing him to be a backup. No one in the NFL, I'm confident in saying this, would sign him to be a backup because he comes with so much baggage, with so many distractions. Now a a twice torn Achilles on top of that. He had a shoulder problem a year and a half ago. Like, he's injured all the time. He legitimately sucks at football. No one likes him. Like, I don't know what's true, what isn't with the allegations, but no one seems to like him. It's just, he is the definition of untouchable. When I would be shocked whenever the Browns cut him in again. I don't know when that'll be. I would guess after this upcoming season because they restructure his contract, so they can't cut him right now. I would guess he gets cut and we never see him again in the NFL. That would be my guess. I think his only chance to play would be to go to Canada, the UFL, light one of those leagues up, and then hope and pray that some team gives him like a training camp invite a couple years down the road. But let's be honest, again, with his baggage and with his years of bad play now, I'd be stunned. I would be absolutely stunned if Deshaun Watson, A, got a starting opportunity again, or B, even took another snap in this league. So I'll ask you, do you think he takes even one more snap? Because, again, it's not going to happen this year with the injury. The Browns have already gone public and said, we whiffed here. I don't see it. I do not see it. But if you believe that he will, type Y for yes. If you don't, type N for no. I'm guessing we get a lot of no's in the comments because, to me, that would be the correct answer and the correct guess. All right, we are sponsored by Turtle Beach, the #1 brand in gaming headsets and accessories. Comes from Turtle Beach. Remember that feeling of booting up your favorite game for the first time? The late night sessions, the epic wins, the sound of the lobby filling up with friends. Gaming wasn't just something you did. It was an experience. It was a lifestyle. And the right headset made all of the difference. Turtle Beach is bringing that feeling back with the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It's like stepping into the golden age of gaming all over again, only this time the audio is richer. The surround sound is more immersive, and the battery lasts an insane 80 hours. No more crackly mics, no more missed callouts, just pure uninterrupted gaming exactly the way you remember it, but even better. Go check out the Stealth 700, Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset with Turtle Beach today by going to turtlebeach.com/chat. Plenty of other cool gaming items you can get over there as well. Use code chat to get 10% off your entire order. That's code chat for 10% off at turtlebeach.com/chat. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Tell them we sent you. Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. And we'll appreciate that. That'll help us out. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. Okay. Let's go from one quarterback with a lot of controversy to another one with a lot of controversy, but not to the level of Deshaun. That is Aaron Rodgers. For those who have kept up, certainly our Steelers host Jack Sperry has. Last night was Pat McAfee's event that he did in Pittsburgh with his show. He's from the Pittsburgh area. And, there were theories. Maybe he'll show up at that, announce that he's signed with the Steelers, and it'll be a big party. That did not happen. Rodgers did not make an appearance. I'm just kind of exhausted. I'm glad the primary team I cover isn't dealing with this saga because it's just, it'd be one thing if this was like Rodgers coming off one of his MVP seasons, but like, he missed a whole year with the Jets. He was okay last year. He's 41 years old. It's just kind of exhausting. He said after the season, I'm not going to drag this out. I'm sorry. He got cut a month and a half ago. We are in drag out territory at this point, especially if the draft comes and goes and he hasn't signed. Like, that is the definition of a drag out. So, look, if he hasn't made up his mind, hey, I understand that. Like, it's a big decision, but it's also like, I go back to the not the Wade Phillips, the old Bill Parcells quote of, if you're already thinking about retiring, you're already retired. So if that's what he's contemplating, then would I even want him if I'm the Steelers? If I'm thinking he's halfway retired, I don't know what he's waiting for. Like, there's been rumors of, they have a deal in place. Well, then why hasn't he signed? It just sign the contract. Because, I know he loves the spotlight, this and that. I think he does to an extent, but like at some point it's like, are you serious or not? Like, if I'm the Steelers, I'm just not going to let this guy hold me over a barrel anymore. I'm just not going to do it. Like, to me, these are the options for Rodgers. Sign with the Steelers, retire from football, or you could kind of be half retired, even though, again, I think that doesn't really work, and then just hold out until training camp early in the season, see if a contender loses their starting quarterback, and then hope they sign you. Again, that wouldn't even be a given. Some teams probably wouldn't sign him in that scenario. So it feels like it's Steelers or bust. And again, from Pittsburgh's standpoint, like, what do you do if you're the Steelers? I know you signed Mason Rudolph, so there's at least some level of a gap option you're building. Great. That's fantastic. Mason Rudolph is not a serious guy to go to war with for 2025, especially where Mike Tomlin is at this point in his career. He's not, they were debating among the fan base publicly, like, do we move on from Tomlin? Do we run it back? You don't run it back to trot out Mason Rudolph. Like, it's just not what you do. So to me, if you don't have an answer, say, let's call it next Friday, which is the weekend heading into the weekend before the draft when teams do a lot of prep work. Like, do you start getting aggressive for a quarterback in the draft? Because at 21, you're not going to get Shador. But do you try to trade up for him? Do you take Jalen Milroe in the first round or Jackson Dart? I think the Steelers are in a pretty bad spot. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers is not some elixir. Now, you could get through this year with him and Mason Rudolph. That combination works. It's not a long-term solution, but it's kind of like with the Giants with Russ and Jameis. At least you have options. To me, you have like half an option right now with Mason Rudolph, and you don't have a high enough pick to get a quarterback. And by the way, it's not a good quarterback draft. So I think they're in a pretty bad spot. I guess I would still guess that he's going to sign with Pittsburgh, but I don't know how I could say that with any confidence at this point, as we're a month into free agency and well over a month since the Jets announced they were cutting him. So I'm kind of at a loss, and I'm curious where you guys sit. What do you think Aaron Rodgers does? Like, to me, the hesitation tells me he's not all in on signing with Pittsburgh. Like, he like wants to hold out some twisted hope that J.J. McCarthy looks terrible in OTAs and the Vikings give him a call in like June or July, which I guess could happen. But like, again, if I'm the Steelers, I would they're not in an advantageous spot, but I would probably just tell them, I'd say, all right, man, we're going to go forward with the draft and we're going to give you a May 15th deadline. And if you don't sign by then, we're out. Like, we're not going to wait any longer. We're not going to let you kind of use us as a placeholder and hope that a better situation comes calling, because we have more self-respect than that. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're not the Tennessee Titans. So, or the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, I'm exhausted by it, but it's a story that's out there and I got to give my takes on it because that's what we do. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Verts. Again, we will have a 3-round mock draft tomorrow, unless there's some breaking news story, then it would be Saturday, but it's coming. I've already started the kind of the prep work for that, so stay tuned. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that sub button. We'll see you soon.